Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday morning Devo. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about being alone and being with other people. Yesterday, I got to go out on a really neat hike. I've always wanted to hike the area that's kind of below Mount Boney, between the Sycamore Trail and the waterfall. So I got down there and spent a little time there yesterday in the morning, and it was spectacular. And I knew I just needed to get some time alone, clear my mind, and my plan was to get out there in nature and listen to the Lord speaking to me, and then I would come back enlightened to share some neat stuff with everybody else and just feel better about life. But I gotta be honest, it probably took an hour of walking and hiking and being out there in creation just to clear my brain. I had 40 or 50 things swimming around in there. Somebody once said I felt like I had monkeys jumping up and down in my brain. That's kind of how it was. But once I got out there, the scenery really helped me to tune in with my thoughts and leave some stuff out there. And man, after it rains, going out for a hike and hearing the wind in the trees and seeing just the beauty that's out there, the deer, the rabbits, the birds, everything was so helpful. I felt like I got to cleanse my brain and I got to cleanse my spirit a little bit. And rather than feeling like I heard a lot of stuff from the Lord, I felt like I was able to give some stuff away. And then I ran into a good friend, Jeff Rodriguez, pastor of Journey in Camarillo, and it was great to connect with him and just talk a little bit about how they're doing with their church congregation right now. And then I went back to my people, back to my family and the people I work with. So I spent some time alone, and then I came back. I chose to be alone, but alone didn't choose me, I guess, if I were to say it that way. One of the big results of this whole pandemic has been aloneness and isolation. And even if you're living with somebody, you may feel more isolated now than maybe ever before. And for some people, man, if you're an introvert, you're like, finally, I don't have all these people bothering me. This is awesome. And maybe your life hasn't changed dramatically. But choosing time alone can be magic and so good for you. But ending up alone, maybe sometimes in our lives is not as good. And here's what I mean. A lot of people end up alone because it's easier than dealing with other people. So in your life, when, if ever, is the easiest thing the best thing? It just doesn't work. And often the easiest thing, like being not around other people, is not best for ourselves or for them. Do you think Jesus ever wanted to be alone? I mean, for sure he did. And knowing his disciples and their personalities, I bet there were a lot of times when he was like, want to get away. Remember those commercials? But we know that he got away to, Luke 5 actually says that he withdrew to lonely places. So he got alone away from it all, not so that he could not be bothered by people, but so that he could be recharged, so that he could go back into their lives and actually have something meaningful to give. He spent time alone, but not only alone. He spent time alone so that he could be purposefully involved with others. And what if Jesus had spent all of his time alone? Then what would have happened to all of the people who needed healing and rescue and saving? And what would have happened to all of us? But Jesus spent time alone with his Father so he could be filled up rather than walking around empty all the time. I think sometimes we spend time alone because we don't have a full tank, and we need our tank to be full in order to help somebody else. But it doesn't mean that we just spend all of our lives alone. It means that we figure out how do our tanks get full. Now, God has given each of us gifts. And if you don't believe me, check out Romans 12, 1 Corinthians 12, Ephesians 4. You'll find some obvious examples where Paul especially is saying, you got some gifts. Figure out what they are. And Paul also said in Ephesians 2 that God prepared in advance good works for you to walk into. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, whether you feel like you're gifted or skilled or awesome or not awesome, or whether you're young or old, he prepared in advance good works for you to walk into. Things that matter forever. The question is not, is there good work to do? The question is, will you do it? Will I do it? Will we seek it out? Well, what if I don't feel like doing it? Well, then I want to say, welcome to the club. You have a nasty case of the normals, because it's easier to not do the good things. It's easier to not get involved in the mess of people's lives and what's happening around us, and to hunker down at home. That's easier. The problem is it's not better. It's not best. It doesn't honor God and use the gifts that he has given us. People need you. People need me. And God has sent us to be part of the solution to isolation, not part of the problem. It's not our job right now to hunker down like everybody else. It's our job to look at who may need some help. So you might say, hey, that's all great. That's a great idea, but COVID, like I can't go out and just go schmooze around with a bunch of people. Well, the cool part is the solution's in your pocket. You and I have a phone. If you don't have one, you can borrow mine. Man, I could use a few days away from that thing. But you have a phone that you can use to help encourage, connect with, pull others out of their isolation into conversation anytime. So I want to encourage you to just take a little time and pray and say, God, who do you want me to text? Who do I miss? Who have I not seen in a while? Who do I need to say hi to? And reach out. And here's the crazy thing that happens. So many times when someone is on your mind, on your heart, guess what? They'll say, well, how did you know you should call me today? And you can be honest. You can say, well, I'm not that good. You went on my mind. You've been on my heart. I thought I would call. You will be amazed how many times you will call someone at the right moment. You may save them from a bad decision. You may be able to pray for them, encourage them, lift them up when they are broken down. You may help them remember that they are not alone by reaching out and saying hi and not acting alone yourself. So I hope you have a wonderful week this week, and I hope that you will have some good stories to share with me about, man, I reached out and look what happened. I feel better. So-and-so feels better. It's almost like this was meant to be. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you soon.